The Indira Gandhi International Airport buzzed with energy. The sheer size of the airport was overwhelming, with its sprawling terminals and endless streams of people. People hurried in all directions, each with their own story and destination. The atmosphere was a mix of excitement and urgency. As the pilot, I felt a sense of responsibility and excitement. Today, I would fly from Delhi to Thoothukudi. My adventure was beginning. I made my way to the cockpit. The big airplane waited. The anticipation was palpable as I approached the boarding area. I showed my ID and boarded. The flight attendants greeted me with warm smiles, adding to my excitement. I found my seat in the cockpit and got comfortable. The seat was familiar, and I could feel the thrill of the journey ahead. Soon we were taxiing to the runway. The engines roared, a powerful sound that signaled the start of our journey. We sped faster and faster. The acceleration pushed me back into my seat. Then we were up in the air. The ground fell away beneath us. I looked out the window. The view was breathtaking. The buildings of Delhi got smaller and smaller. The city looked like a miniature model from up here. Soon they were just tiny dots. It was incredible to see the vastness of the city shrink into the distance. We were high above the city. I felt a thrill. The sky stretched out endlessly before us. This was going to be an amazing trip. The adventure had just begun, and I couldn't wait to see what awaited us in Thoothukudi. From the cockpit, Delhi sprawled below like a giant map. From this height, it looked like a sea of buildings. The roads appeared as thin ribbons. Tiny cars moved along them. The Yamuna River was a silver thread winding through the city. In the distance, I could see the towering minarets of the Jama Masjid. I remembered flying over it many times. It always looked so peaceful and grand from above. I could almost hear the call to prayer echoing in my ears. Delhi was quickly disappearing behind us. I was excited to see what lay ahead. The flight attendants served delicious snacks, a delightful mix of local and international flavors. The aroma of freshly brewed chai filled the cabin, mingling with the scent of warm samosas. As I enjoyed a samosa and some chai, I couldn't help but think about the view from the cockpit. At 30,000 feet, the world below looked like a living map, with clouds as our constant companions. I glanced out the window, marveling at the ever-changing landscape. The terrain below transformed into a patchwork quilt of colors and textures. The crowded cityscapes gave way to sprawling fields and open spaces. Vast plains and fields stretched as far as the eye could see. A pilot's dream. Flying over Agra, I thought about its rich history and romance. I strained to spot the Taj Mahal, its iconic silhouette standing out against the landscape. There it was, a tiny white jewel shimmering in the sun, a testament to eternal love. From above it looked even more magical, like a dream carved in marble. I imagined the Emperor Shah Jahan gazing down at his beloved's tomb, lost in memories. What a sight it must have been. We continued south, the landscape unfolding like a storybook. I saw the massive hilltop fort of Gwalior, a sentinel watching over the land. It looked like it was guarding the land below, a fortress of history and strength. Then we passed over Nagpur, a city known for its vibrant culture and citrus orchards. I could almost smell the oranges for which it is famous, their fragrance carried on the wind. Section 4. Southward bound, approaching the coast. As we approached Hyderabad, the landscape changed again. Rocky hills and plateaus appeared. I pictured the city's famous biryani. I could almost taste the spicy rice and tender meat. The flight attendant announced our descent into Chennai. Soon, we were flying over the Bay of Bengal. The blue water stretched out before us, sparkling in the sunlight. I could see ships sailing on the water. They looked like tiny toys from so high up. The beaches looked inviting. I wished I could jump out and swim in the warm water.
As the pilot, I marveled at the changing landscape below. Approaching Hyderabad, the rocky hills and plateaus were a sight to behold. The thought of Hyderabad's famous biryani crossed my mind, almost tasting the spicy rice and tender meat. Announcing our descent into Chennai, I guided the plane over the Bay of Bengal. The sparkling blue water and tiny ships below looked like toys. The inviting beaches made me wish I could dive into the warm water myself.
Section 5. Touchdown in Thoothukudi.
Finally, we began our final descent into Thoothukudi. The anticipation was palpable as I started to lower the plane, giving us a glimpse of the city below. I saw the coastline come into view, stretching out like a beautiful painting. The sight was mesmerizing. It was even more beautiful from the air, with the sun casting a golden hue over the landscape. The beaches were long and sandy, inviting and pristine, perfect for a day of relaxation. Palm trees swayed in the breeze, adding a tropical charm to the scenery. The water was 1,000 shades of blue and green, sparkling under the sunlight, creating a mesmerizing mosaic. I circled the plane around, preparing to land. Each turn offered a new perspective of the city and its surroundings. I felt a little bump as we touched down on the runway. We were in Thoothukudi. The journey had been smooth and the landing was perfect. I felt so happy and excited. The thrill of arriving in a new place filled me with joy. My sky-high adventure was over, but a new one was just beginning. The promise of new experiences awaited. I couldn't wait to explore this beautiful part of India. Thoothukudi, with its rich culture and stunning landscapes, was ready to be discovered.